I'll be calling you a radical. So according to Yahoo, the Russians have, at the Big Z, have the workers at gunpoint and are threatening to drain the spent fuel pools. They're saying they're hiding some kind of weapons inside the spent fuel pools. You drain a spent fuel pool, you're going to have Zerk fires and it's going to be on. I mean, this is the most dangerous situation. Well, it's Fukushima. I mean, it could be. You know, I could prove all this. And by the way, Diablo Canyon is willing to threaten all. Don't want to live like a Chernobyl refuge. Don't want to live like a Fukushima refuge. Don't want to live like a certain greedy freaks. Something we don't even use in California. California's producing so much solar they don't have nowhere to put it. But they want to keep it open because it's free money. It's billions. These people that work there make so much money. It's unbelievable. You know, it's just a big loot job. So Tsar Putin is threatening. The Russians are threatening to drain the spent fuel pools at the Big Z. The Big Z is the biggest nuclear reactor in all of Europe. There is more uranium-230, and uranium-238's what comes from the Earth. They centrifuge it. It's a 3% byproduct. They turn it into uranium-235, the most dangerous. Oh, what's that? Plutonium. Sugar wars, molasses wars, textiles wars, cocaine cowboys. Plutonium wars. Western zirconium's right there. By the way, they're still. I thought Westinghouse went bankrupt. There's no sanctions on the spent. They make the fuel rods, the zirconium rods. Why is there no sanctions on uranium? Why is there no sanctions on spent fuel or fuel rods? Because they're the nuclear energy crime syndicate. They get away with anything. This is the most dangerous situation. I can prove how everyone knows. In February, it looked like Putin might blow the Big Z. I'm the guy that named it the Big Z. Headline story, USA Today. Could be Fukushima-style disaster. You all act like you don't know. As the cancer across North America and the world slowly grows. Heat bubble over the western United States, 2011. Just coincidence, bro, right out of Blanche's mouth. All predicted by son of Cassandra, Kevin Blanche. Hear no nuclear evil, see no nuclear. You're going to all chalk it up to coincidence. Salmon collapse. By the way, the Kenine ends tomorrow. The Kenine early Chinook run. 1980 for the year. They're going to, the lowest in the history of the river on the Chinook. Smoking gun of Fukushima. The Chinook didn't start to collapse until 2016. They go to sea for 5 years. You all act like you don't know. As the cancer slowly grows. All this, the greatest drought, heat bubble over the western United States, right after Fukushima, poured into the Pacific Ocean. For every action, there's a reaction. Apparently not. We're afraid of nuclear meltdowns until they happen. I took so much risk. I knew that there were meltdowns. I worked at the University of Weber State, who built them. That's Utah Construction. I knew these Mach 1 and Mach 2s. I'd written paper after paper on Mach 1, Mach 2. Could not handle, the cores could not handle a 7.8 earthquake. Sent it off for Fukushima. Let alone the spent fuel pools couldn't handle 7.7, 7. I knew this was, I knew it was gone. And then everybody's just arguing. It took me a year and a half to convince anybody it was one meltdown. But they all branded themselves in history, and so did I. The most important PhD in human history. Dead tide pools, wipeout, started in 2011. Heat over the western United States, started in 2011. Salmon collapse, started in 2011. Greatest drought in 1,200 years, 2011. The mosquito collapse, the insect collapse, you're just going to chalk it up a coincidence. We call these outliners. We have the data up there in the Kenine, the Fraser, the Columbia, the Rogue, all of them. The Jedediah Smith, there's no dams. You all act like you don't know. As the cancer slowly grows. So he's threatening, supposedly, what could go wrong? At gunpoint, he says he's taken over. Rostom's going to take over the Big Z by September 1st. You got these guys threatening, they're searching him, they're going crazy, running the biggest nuclear reactor in all of Europe. There is more spent fuel, uranium-238, sugar wars, textile wars, molasses wars, cocaine cowboys, plutonium wars, maybe than anywhere on Earth. I mean, what could go wrong? Now, I don't know if this article is accurate. It is Yahoo. Drained spent fuel pools. Those are called Zerk fires. That's what happened in Fukushima. Then the pellets, they're active forever. You can never get them out. That's exactly what happened. So they made the decision at Fukushima to push it into the Pacific Ocean. Just for 11 years. There's no consequence. They caught a group of rockfish in January of 2022, 100 miles off the coast of Fukushima, that tested for 140 becquerels of cesium-137 in them. That's 100 times over the raised limit of the legal limits. That was this year. Breaking news, fish swim. Breaking news, jet stream moves left to right. Breaking news, Kevin Blanch was right the whole time. And I live in abject poverty. No good deed goes unpunished. Oh boy. You all act like you don't know as the cancer slowly grows. Green flash. Maybe we can get pink flashes here. I saw the coolest ass green flash in my whole life on Sunset Cliffs 2 years ago in the winter. So I'll be back tide pool jumping ASAP. Point Loma's been closed for 2.5 years. Now it's open, but there's been no low tide. Because why they don't let people in until 9:30 a.m. The only low tide was at 4 a.m., 5 a.m. last moon cycle. This moon cycle will be afternoon. I need to raise money. I'm getting too old to sleep on the beach. I don't know, maybe. But I mean, the shit I do, the work I do. This is just the greatest PhD in human history. That's all. I've been right the entire time. It took me 1.5 years to convince anybody it was even 1 nuclear meltdown, let alone 3, which is probably more. How about all the spent fuel pools? Putin is threatening to drain the spent fuel pools because he says they're hiding weapons in them. Zerk fires, Western Zirconium's right there. There's no sanctions on there. Their spent fuel rods are still flying to Russia. I thought they went bankrupt. You all act like you don't know. The cancer slowly grows. I spent a bunch of money on getting this phone, I think, fixed today. It's a work in progress. We'll see. Put me in, coach. I'm ready. Ooh. Play today. Look at me. This is the most dangerous situation. We're building up troops in NATO for one freak, the Tsar Putin. We've let run him up for 20-something years. Obama didn't do shit. Trump empowered him. Now sliding with Biden. I mean, I was in Ukraine in 2015. And I will quote this guy. He told me, he says, "You either fight the fucker now, or you fight him later." What a madman. This psycho is threatening the whole world. Diablo Canyon's doing it. Diablo Canyon is something that you don't even use. $3.4 million a day in welfare flying out from the California taxpayer when we're producing 200% more solar a day than we had. Why? 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 Because they're gods. We bow to the nuclear energy. Why? Why? I don't. The answer is the sun. And we're going to chalk up everything to coincidence post Fukushima 2011. Not me. I don't live in denial. Thank you, everybody, who supported this historic work. You know, but run on empty. Oh my God, my old piece of shit truck's had it. Can't pass admissions. The plates are due tomorrow. I don't know. K9 numbered lowest Chinook in history. Less than 2,000. It ends tomorrow. I mean, the work I do, tide pool work, the salmon work, the big Z work. I can just prove it. In February, when it looked like he might blow it,